Modern AI can be really beneficial for developers. We can streamline and automate developer workflows with the help of AI, so we get to write better code faster. Now, we have access to the latest AI models. These are models which have gigantic knowledge bases. They can grok through anything that's out there in the open, and when we ask for a prompt, it can generate code. But with open standards like Model Context Protocol, companies can also make specialized tools which have deep contextual access to all types of documentation and APIs and expose those tools up for the AI agents to invoke. The AI agents have access to all of the AI models and all of this tooling, so you as a developer have that much more confidence in the type of code that we're generating. So with that in mind, let me introduce you to our Telerik Blazor AI coding assistants. If you are building apps, modern web apps with .NET and Blazor, we are here to help. We have a brand new MCP server that exposes a new tool called Telerik Blazor Assistant. Let me walk you through how you get started and where it helps. All right, so I am inside of Visual Studio Code. Your experience will be exactly the same if you're on Visual Studio on Windows or VS Code on Windows, Mac, or Linux, or Cursor, essentially any IDE. MCP and its tooling, these are all standards, so it makes sure it works on any environment and any IDE. So let me first open up GitHub Copilot chat here in VS Code. You'll notice that in my prompt window, I have a few modes. I could start with the ask mode, in which case I'm asking for prompts and it's responding back with some code. Then I could graduate up to the edit mode where it's trying to make some more code changes with my permission, of course. And then I could go in agent mode. This is a mode in which I am happy to give up the reins a little bit. So AI is now more of a peer programmer instead of a pair programmer. Envision somebody sitting right next to you and you are giving them things to do. And with some autonomy and with your approval, it can actually do some code changes fairly well. So I'm going to stick here to my Claude Sonnet models. You can, look around and make sure whichever model that's working best for you, that's the one you use. Now in agent mode, I'm going to click on this settings icon here. This is a list of all of the MCP tools that my AI agent has access to. Now I can go ahead and add more tools here, and I can add an MCP server, and I got a few things to choose from. I could run it locally, or the most common ways to expose an MCP server with tools are NPM packages, or if you're using Python, a pip package or a Docker image. Let's see what the NPM package can do for us, because I'm going to switch here to my browser and show you an npm.js package. This is the Telerik Blazor MCP server exposed up to you as an NPM package. And it walks you through exactly what the prerequisites are and how you get started. It does need a Telerik license for you to get in. So in your authentication and in your configuration, it walks you to here's what you need for Visual Studio and VS Code, and you need it to point it to a Telerik license path so it can find the license key file. So let's go back to Visual Studio Code here. And if I open up my settings here, I'm going to go into MCP. So there's a settings.json, and this is at a per user level globally for all things VS Code, or you can drop an mcp.json file in your workplace, so it only works for that project and nothing else. So here I have my Telerik Blazor Assistant, exactly what the docs said. I have standard input output, and I have my arguments, and I'm pointing it to a license path. And so I should be all set. So now if I go into my, my tools, here is my MCP server showing the Blazor Assistant working. So everything is wired up and should be good to go now. Now, what I have here is a very simple boilerplate Blazor app. It's a modern web app where I have just done .NET New Blazor. I'm just about getting started, but I would like to add some Telerik UI to it, and I would like to use the new Blazor Telerik Assistant with MCP tools. So in agent mode, I am going to go in, and again, if I hover over this one more time, just to kind of show you what this does, it's looking out with some metadata. Anytime you say Telerik or whack Telerik or ask Telerik or add Telerik, it's going to know, the agent is going to know that here's an expert sitting out there with deep contextual knowledge. So it's the expert that's going to do the work instead of just a generic agent. So let's make sure we are all wired up. So I'm just going to go and say Telerik hello. And in this case, it's GitHub Copilot, working on it and say, yeah, I see that you have a Blazor app. I can help. And by the way, I can add, Telerik UI components to it, and I should be all set. Now, if I go a little bit more explicit, like Telerik Blazor Assistant, this is now saying, hey, by the way, I do have this tool available to me, so you can, ask me specific questions. And on the continue, you could say allow it for just this session or for the whole workspace or allow forever. So let's just allow this. So you can see that it's actually firing off that MCP tool. I mean, we haven't done anything to it. We haven't asked any questions, but it's just saying, hey, I can help you with implementations around Telerik UI for Blazor. And here is, it running with all of the API references, all of the docs. So here's that contextual intelligence that you're looking for. So here is that, MCP tool wired up and ready for you to use. So now let's come into agent mode, and I'm going to say add Telerik UI Blazor. And I can be explicit. Make sure to use #Telerik Blazor Assistant. So it should do it automatically, but I'm just making sure it always uses my MCP tool. So here is it, running the MCP tool. So all we are trying to do here is add Telerik UI for Blazor as a dependency to my project. So it says, hey, I need to run a NuGet package add. Yep, that sounds about right. You are the pilot, and GitHub Copilot is just trying to do things for you. But it not just adds the NuGet package, it sees that it needs to configure a few things. So it needs to go into program.cs, and right away it's going to add that add Telerik Blazor in the .NET generic build host. So it's wired up and ready to go. And it's going to also do a few more things to configure. So now it's adding some CSS and JavaScript that's needed for some of the styling. So it's going to go into app.razor and add those things for us. So this is the benefit of agent mode. Again, I can do all of this by hand, or I can just sit back and let it automate some of these tasks. And now it's going into main layout.razor. It's probably going to add a sample in our nav directory, so I have access to a new page that I can get to. So it did all of this stuff, right? And I can look through each of the code samples here. Here's the style sheet. I can keep that. And here it is trying to add the Telerik root component in my main layout.razor. So all of that is good. And again, it did not just use its own intelligence, it's actually running that Telerik Blazor Assistant. So I have that deep contextual knowledge of everything Telerik UI for Blazor. So now again, let's just say add a new Blazor page with Telerik grid, right? With the Telerik grid. And it's going to figure out some sample data. Again, I'm going to say, make sure to use #Telerik Blazor. Again, you shouldn't have to, because the AI agent should automatically pick it up, but I'm just trying to be explicit here. So go ahead and continue. So at this point, it's going to invoke that MCP server for things it needs. Like I asked for a new page, and I'm asking for a Telerik grid to be added to that page. So it says, okay, I'm going to add grid demo.razor in the pages folder. That should be fine. Again, hands off. I'm just sitting back and watching it go. This is the beauty of agent mode. We are giving up a little bit of the reins for a lot more, productivity. And again, nothing gets in without your permission. So you are going to be the one authorizing each of the code changes. So now it's going in and adding something to the nav menu. So it probably has a new page to get to. And it's trying to give me a responsive grid, and the built-in features will be paging, sorting on the grid. I would like some filtering as well. It's giving me looks like some product pages. So it's got a product category, some prices, and some things in stock. And all of that sounds good, connected to a real data source if I wanted to. Yeah, that all sounds good, but let's see what it did add. So let's go into our pages here, and let's look at the grid demo.razor that it dropped in. So this is the Telerik grid, and looks like it's looking at some sample data here in terms of products, product categories and their pricing, and it's wired up all of that with the product class, and it's dropped in this Telerik grid UI component here. It's made things pageable. sorting, filtering, all of that is done. And again, it's all about that developer confidence. Like this is coming directly from our docs, from our APIs, from lots and lots of sample code. And I am not just trusting the AI agent. I am making sure that it invokes the Telerik Blazor assistant. This is an MCP server and exposing an MCP tool with all of that contextual intelligence. So if you're okay with giving up the reins a little bit, staying always in charge, but letting the AI agents do things for you, just know that the AI agents now have access to very, very specialized tooling, with authentication, with all of the contextual intelligence that you need to write your Telerik UI for Blazor, or add Telerik UI for Blazor in your Blazor apps and be that much more productive as developers. So it is a new age. AI is graduating from a pair to a real peer programmer. It has access to all types of tooling that is rich, has all of the context and all of the intelligence to go look for the exact thing that is being asked and not hallucinate, just try to get you back exactly what you need from the folks who have built the tools for you. So it's a brand new world, and hopefully you can play around with this and try getting more productive as you're building your Blazor apps. Telerik UI for Blazor is here to help, and we are just augmenting the powers of AI agents with an MCP tool. So go be productive, have fun, and thanks for watching.